It has finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Zoochosis is out and I'm really excited to play it. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded, but I'm back and ready for action. Without further ado, let's get into it. It all started with a contract.
Before we begin, I want you to put down your scribble.
It looked promising, and without thinking, I signed it. The doc looked at my contract, extremely satisfied,
Couple more things and you'll pull your family out of poverty.
and then gave me a camera to use.
Our scientists
But when I looked at him, he kinda looked familiar.
Stop the cap.
I was confused. Scientists and zookeepers are different, but then this happened.
long right in the zoo. Hope you got the joke.
No.
After the interview, he gave me some sort of electronic device that I should use.
The work objects.
I was so distracted with this device that I did not see him coming.
Wait, what's this for?
You'll find out later.
I woke up in a cold room. When I looked up, the dog stared at me with his arms crossed. I demanded.
What the hell? What did you do to me?
He replied that he took care of my health or something, and that I should follow him because he has a lot to show me. It was at this point that I knew something was up, but I kept my cool and followed him. The dog led me to a trolley and asked me to load the herbs and vegetables into it, so that's what I did. My next instruction was that I should push the trolley to the train, which he called Katie for some unknown reason. Remember, I took this job just to get my family out of poverty, but boy, if I only knew what would happen to me, I wouldn't have signed the contract in the first place. But all this aside,
What you guys gonna do this Halloween?
I'm really excited to know what you guys have in mind, so please let me know down in the comments and be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like this video so far. That would be very appreciated. I pulled the lever that lets the trolley into the train and followed the dog inside. He told me to select the giraffe enclosure, so that's what I did. The train finally took off, and when it stopped, the dog took me to the cutting board. He instructed me to cut the vegetables and the herbs into smaller pieces, so that's what I did. Finally, I had to activate the gadget trolley, go outside and carry it to the giraffe section. The dog followed me, and after asking him why the zoo has been closed, he said this.
How would I know? I'm just a simple man. Clock in and clock out.
When we got to the giraffe section, he asked me to open the door, which I did. I took the feeding bucket outside and went to feed the giraffes, which were absolutely ginormous. I went to the feeding area and dumped the food into it.
Bon appetit.
I gave a quick look to one of the giraffes and went back. The dog asked if I could grab the MFE. When I asked what it was, he said that it's a device used to get the feces of animals. But then he added something absolutely terrifying.
Now you're going to suck it.
I don't know.
At this point, I was just tired of his jokes. When I asked him why we need all this, he replied that cleaning after the animals was my top priority, and that I would earn $100,000 a year just to clean up after them. I was very reluctant, but when he said this.
Come on, Paul. Don't chicken out.
Oh.
I went outside and got the feces. The doc told me to get the TIS, which is a device that is used to scan the animal's temperature. So I grabbed it, went outside and did what I was told to do. Before leaving, I decided to pet one of the giraffes, which was absolutely adorable. The doc told me that we should get back to the train and make a chemical called Temporalax. So I pressed the exit button, got the trolley and followed them back to the train. He then instructed me to get the poop sucker and put it in the train to get extracted. so that's what I did. I put the device back, but when I looked around, the dog was gone. I went into the train to wait for him, but when I went to search for him, he gave me a fright.
Why are you so jumpy?
I loaded the gadget trolley into the train and then went to the dog, who taught me how to make temp relax. I went to the machine and got to work. I took the dart out of the dispenser, went to the gadget trolley, got the dart gun and loaded it. The dog then told me to go to the giraffe enclosure and shoot the sick giraffe, but then he called out to me saying this.
Be careful, don't confuse Bo with Bo.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
When I got to the enclosure, I was shaking. I never shot an animal before, and now I had to do it. I found Poe, and after many struggles, finally shot him.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I went back to the enclosure, closed it, and went back to the train. I told the dog that I had cured the animal and he requested me to go back to the hub, which I did. I followed the dog back to the place we came from. He told me that if I did my job correctly, I would get a car just like him. He told me good luck and got serious.
Don't mess up.
Okay.
He then left, and as I watched him go, I thought, this job better pay well, otherwise I might turn into this guy. The next enclosure was the wallabies, so I selected it and started the train. When it stopped, I went to the wallabies diet, selected it and cut the food. I loaded the gadget trolley outside, interacted with it and pulled it to the wallaby section. But then I heard the phone ring, and after searching for it I finally found it and answered. The following conversation took place.
Night Zookeeper, Paul Connolly.
Oh, thank God, finally. Please don't hang up. I've been trying to reach my husband all day. He's a scientist, Clarence J. Summers. People usually call him CJ.
I'm sorry, man. I'm here alone.
Please check for me. He should be in the lab.
Is there a lab here?
Oh, I understand. You're new. Then one last request. Look in his locker in the break room. Code 1768.
Ma'am, this doesn't feel right.
Paul, I'm begging you. CJ needs to take his medication regularly. I just want to make sure he has them with him. Just open the locker, that's all. I'll call back.
I struggled to wrap my head around this. What was going on? Who is this woman? Who is CJ? But I got distracted. I need to get my job done. I opened the wallaby enclosure, got the food bucket and went outside. The wallabies were very adorable. I went to the feeding area and dumped the food into it.
Bon appetit!
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
I went back and got the temperature monitor. I went outside and measured the temperature of the animals. That was probably the easiest task I've ever done. I went back and got the poop sucker. I went outside again to gather the feces of the animals. And this is another montage of what happened. I returned the poop sucker and grabbed a device that allows me to hear the animals, if they have anything wrong with them. I exited the enclosure and went back to the train. When I looked at my PDA, I had to select the blood and the feces for analysis. So I got the poop sucker, put it in the train and did this. Now that I had the poop for analysis, I had to get the blood. So I grabbed a device that is used to extract blood and also the dart gun. I went back and opened the enclosure. Taking the animal's blood was a little bit tricky because I had to pet them, let them lay down and then take the blood. After I extracted Wally's blood, I went for the rest. And boy was that tricky. I had to chase every single one of them down. And boy, if you chase a kangaroo, they will always outrun you. Or outjump for that matter. After that, I went back to the train, donated the blood and tried to figure out what kind of diseases they had. It was at this point that I realized being a chemist and a vet was not for me. Because these moments were the worst, the longest, the most infuriating. I tried to be guard on the kangaroos, but that was a failure. Fluise was my second option, but I missed one kangaroo and another one was a failure. I took some time to cool off and discovered a lot of vials that were around me. Strangely enough, they were a closet, and when I opened it, it contained some weird information. The guy talked about something big, and something about one shot not being enough. There was also something about a woman that needed saving. I couldn't wrap my head around this. I went back and the last option was not influenza, but the plague. So I selected the option and chose a dart that suited it. My final shot was all worth it. And behind the scenes, I was screaming with all I could muster.
Finally!
The telephone rang again when I got back, and I answered it. The following conversation took place.
Night Zookeeper, Paul Connolly. I'm sorry, ma'am. I haven't had a chance to look around yet.
What's with the ma'am?
Oh, nothing. A woman called, looking for someone named CJ, searching for her husband.
That again. Although CJ's no saint either, always hanging around some girls, lying to his wife that he's in the lab. And we don't even have labs here. Anyway, forget it. Why am I calling you? There'll be a food delivery soon, and you need to grind some fresh meat. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I'll call you later.
At this point, I knew there was a drama coming up. I have no idea who CJ is, I have no idea what was going on. And now I'm involved in something I didn't sign up for, but it was too late for me. I needed this job and there was no turning back. Now this was getting way out of hand. Now I have something that is inside of me because I grew sick. My first day to work and I'm sick. I selected the hub enclosure and started to train. When I got back, I went to the meat section and nothing could have prepared me for what happened next.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
The telephone rang. I rushed to the inside, scared by what I just saw. When I picked it up, the following conversation took place.
Hello? Damn. I mean, Night Zookeeper, Paul Connolly.
Don't worry, Paul. It's me again. How's it going? Do you need any explanations?
Oh, I definitely do. I thought you had beef or, I don't know, lamb in the fridge. And
there's a long-necked pig. You see, Paul, dozens of parasites spread from the mother every day. They infiltrate our animals and they turn into, how shall I put it? Well, monsters. And they have specific tastes. They need meat.
What the hell is the mother?
Relax. The mother is securely locked away. Not much is known about her, so they study her. Forget about it. You know your tasks. Don't worry about the rest.
Damn. I should have been warned about this in advance. I didn't sign up for this.
Of course you did. You signed an NDA. I've seen what happens to those who violate NDA. I advise you not to. So if they say grind bodies, you grind. If they say kill, you kill. Got it?
Got it.
And if by chance you want to tell someone about these little secrets, that would be a direct violation of the NDA. and you'll have to face the consequences of your actions. Now stop whining and get back to work.
Words cannot describe what I felt at that moment. But when I went outside, this happened. At this point, I was so angry. When the phone rang, I rushed inside, picked up, and screamed into it.
Hello? The night zookeeper, Paul Connolly.
Why so grim? Problems?
I got so mad. I wanted to know everything what was going on. Where she come from, who she was, who is CJ, all that types of stuff. But that guy, he wanted me to ground a living girl. That was the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't want to cause a crime scene and risk my family. But then he told me about parasites and the mother. That was the last thing I wanted to hear. But then he said this.
Look at your hands.
What the hell is this? Did you poison me?
Poison? Who do you think I am, a desperate housewife? No, Paul. I infected you.
I cursed at myself. Surely not. So that's what he injected me with. I was not gonna let this man slide. But then he did the unthinkable. He dragged my wife and daughter into this. I cursed at him and put the phone down. And then I went outside. I then proceeded to do whatever a normal human being would do. I saved the woman. She'll be okay. I went back to the train and selected the gorilla enclosure. The train stopped, so I went to the cutting board and got to work. Only to find out that the vegetables were up.
Oh, come on!
But that was not gonna stop me. I selected the gadget trolley and pulled it to the gorilla section. And here's a montage of the chemicals I discovered while exploring. I opened the gorilla section and went to meet them. They were absolutely ginormous. I used the heat monitor to scan them. I used the poop sucker to suck out their... and used the blood extractor to get the blood. And the way this gorilla is posing kind of reminds me of the Fortnite flip.
Hold up, come on. Fortnite move! Oh, do it again.
Getting the gorilla's blood is way easier than the wallabies. They were very slow and did not care much.
I'm gonna kill him!
I measured the sounds of the gorillas. I finally went back. But as I made the temper relax and went outside, chaos broke loose. The explosion was so hard I started to get a panic attack. I immediately rushed to the train and made the lethal injection. I never shot an animal before, like I said, but my killer instincts told me that I needed to survive. I got the darts and bolted outside. The guy on the tape flashed back at me. One shot not being enough. Something big, something that needed meat. It all made sense. The parasite inside of me wants to break out. It's slowly taking over my body. I looked around and saw the gorilla on the bridge, chasing another one of his pack. He jumped down and attacked it. This was my shot. Wait, hold on a second. That gaping mouth looks familiar. Don't believe me? Reverse. The battle took ages. The gorilla was strong, the gorilla was smart, and he was absolutely terrifying. But eventually, after many struggles, I finally overcome him. And as I watched him fall off the bridge, and after walking for a while, finally died, I decided that it was time for a celebration. I got the poop sucker and did this.
Brother,
Spoiler alert, I didn't make it till the end. I became a parasite, forever stuck in the zoo. I hope my wife and kid are alright.